kitchen, baby. So I can go downstairs and cruise. Oh yeah, got them Oreo cream sandwich, chocolate covered cream filled cookie blue. I keep them in the glove compartment of my car. You know that I can't live without them. They get me high, then I'll get on blues. Got them Oreo cream sandwich, chocolate covered cream filled cookie blues. Yeah. Oh yeah. You got the blues done? Better give them up, but quick. Said you'd be pushing up a whole bunch of daisies, girl, and quite frankly, I kinda think that you're sad. I can't live without them, oh no. I don't wanna lose, I don't wanna lose. Got them Oreo cream sandwich, chocolate covered cream filled cookie in there. The Bill Bonabisco, and you know that they ain't no rookie. I got the next best thing to nookie. Blues. Oh, Mr. Christie, you just don't compare.
Our next musical guest was scheduled to be here this year. They were supposed to do a full performance slot for us, but unfortunately, due to COVID, they couldn't make it with us here tonight. So here performing their song from last year's Telemiracle is Putt Putt's Garage.
I remember it all very well. Looking back, it was the summer I turned 18. We lived in a one-room rundown shack on the outskirts of New Orleans. We didn't have money for food or rent, to say the least. We were hard-pressed, and Mama spent every last penny we had to buy me a dancing dress. But Mama washed and combed and curled my hair. She painted my eyes and lips, and I stepped into a satin dancing dress that had a slit in the side clean up to my hip. It was red velvet trimming and it fit me good. Looking grown kid that stood. She said, here's your one chance, fancy, don't let me down. She said, here's your one chance, fancy, don't let me down. Mama dabbed a little bit of perfume on my neck and she kissed my cheek. Then I saw the tears welling up in her troubled eyes as she started to speak. She looked at a pitiful shack and then she looked at me and took a ragged breath. She said, your paws round off and I'm real sick and the baby's gonna starve to death. She handed me a heart-shaped locket that said, to thine own self be true. And I shivered as I watched a roach crawl across the toe of my high-heel shoe. It sounded like somebody else was talking, asking, Mama, what do I do? Just be nice to the gentleman, fancy, they'll be nice to you. She said, here's your one chance, fancy, don't let me down. Here's your one chance, fancy, don't let me down. Lord, forgive me for what I do, but if you want out, well, it's up to you. Now don't let me down, now your mama's gonna move you uptown. Well, that was the last time I saw my mama and I'd left that rickety shack. The welfare people came and took the baby, mama died and I ain't been back. But the wheels of fate had started to turn and for me there was no way out. But it wasn't very long till I knew exactly what my mama been talking about. I knew what I had to do and I made myself this solemn vow. I was gonna be a lady someday, though I didn't know when or how. Couldn't see spending the rest of my life with my head hung down in shame. You know I might have been born just plain white trash, but fancy wasn't my name. She said, here's your one chance, fancy, don't let me down. Here's your one chance, fancy, don't let me down. After a benevolent man took me in off the streets, and 1 week later I was pouring his tea in a 5-room hotel suite. I charmed a king, a congressman, and the occasional aristocrat, and I got me a Georgia mansion and an elegant New York townhouse flat, and I ain't done bad. Now in this world there's a lot of self-righteous hypocrites that call me bad and criticize mama for turning me out, no matter how little we had. No, I ain't had to worry about nothing for my own 15 years. I can still hear the desperation in my poor mama's voice ringing in my ears. Here's your one chance, fancy, don't let me down. She said, here's your one chance, fancy, don't let me down. Lord, forgive me for what I do, but if you want out, well, it's up to you. Now don't let me down, now your mama's gonna move you uptown.
Due to a combination of issues, David doesn't have the power to get around on his own. He didn't want to depend on others, and thankfully, Telemiracle was able to provide a power scooter which helped him maintain his independence. Let's take a look.
My name is David Irwin. I have a degenerative artery disease. I had my first heart attack at 39, and up to date I have 5 stents and a triple bypass, so my arteries don't work so good, so I don't have the power to get around on my own. I can go about a block, maybe a little bit more, but it's very hard on the body. And I also have extreme vertical decline, so I have no balance. When I'm walking around, I have to touch things to keep my balance. And it's not a push, it's just a light touch, just so my body knows where I am. So if I go out of the building, if I go to my apartment, I don't have access to all that, so it's very tricky. I end up falling on the sidewalk or hurting myself. And being dependent on others is not a good way to go either. So my occupational therapist suggested that I put in an application for Telemiracle. With the money I make each month being on disability, there's just no way I'd be able to afford the cart. 6, maybe 8 weeks later, and the power scooter was delivered to me, and big difference. I'm smiling today because of it, because I can go anywhere I want when I want. If I need to go to the doctor's, if I need to go do a little shopping, once a month I pick up my medication. I like a couple of times a week. The river's 2 blocks away. There's a beautiful park there. There's a little spot there where there's 4 trees and beautiful shade. I park the power scooter under there. I sit there and I read for 3-4 hours. And if I want to go for a milkshake, I can go get it. To me, it gave my life back. I have my independence back. And that's all down to Telemiracle. And I want to thank Telemiracle and each and every person that donates. And if you haven't donated, your turn is this year. Make it happen.
COVID has wreaked havoc on all of our lives and plans for the last few years, and that's no surprise to any of us. Unfortunately, Telemiracle is no different. So we've had a few last-minute cancellations. So we decided to revisit some of last year's performances as well, including this very next performer, Brian, Paul, DG, and friends.
1, 2, 3. I woke up shining at the end of a rest, as though I touched a greater plan. I think I was aligning to be with the best part of the heart that I can. I stay good and true with the friends that I made. So grateful for all that we moved through. And even though we know it can all stay the same, something also seems new. These dreams within dreams are always gonna show holographics, of course. This infinite stream is always gonna flow to and from our greatest source. As we stay good and true with the friends that we make, so grateful for all that we move through. And even though we know it can all stay the same, something also seems new. Something new. Something new. Something new. Something new. I dreamt I was surfing on the ocean of all. Got to making better and better choices. Among the many changes, I remember that call. Peace, love, and joy are my true voices. And we stay good and true with the friends that we make. So grateful for all that we move through. And even though we know it can't all stay the same, something also seems new. Something new. Something new. Something new. Something new. Yeah, something new. Something new. Something new. Something new. Something new. Something new. Okay. That's the title track of an album we put out about a year and a half ago. Something New with Brian Paul, DG, and friends. And I wrote that song about 3 years ago, and this is a song I wrote about 13 years ago. It's called Down by the River, and it's on a new album we got coming out soon. And I wrote this down by the river in Saskatchewan, by that beautiful train bridge across from the university there. And if you weren't singing with us already there at the comfort of your home, you can. There's sort of sing-alongable, friendly moments in our songs. This one, the chorus goes, she's always changing, she's always changing, she's always changing names. So if you're at home and you want to sing along with us, that would be really great. 1, 2, 3. Down by the river, we take a song to give her. We let it go and let it flow like the waters that show just how the moment delivers. We can know we're with her. Yeah, that changing river. By the way that we also play to and from the great ocean that hither. And she's always changing. She's always changing name. Yes, she's always changing. She's always changing. Ever Van Olst on the guitar. Yes, she's always changing. She's always changing name. Yes, she's always changing. She's always changing name. When we feel the river, it's like a new life giver. Keeping on with emotion strong, full of grace, it's such a fine forgiver. Oh, the change in the river, getting small and bigger, moves along like a joyful song or a dance that can romance a liver. And she's always changing. Yes, she's always changing name. Yes, she's always changing. She's always changing name. And she's always changing. She's always changing name. Yes, she's always changing. She's always changing name. Yes, she's always changing. She's always changing name. Okay, that river just keeps on running, doesn't it? You know, you have a little sleep, but the river doesn't sleep. It just keeps on going. So that was a Saskatchewan means fast-flowing river. That's one of the translations of that word, actually. So feels so. That was I moved to Saskatchewan from Toronto 15 years ago, and I just came here with a backpack and a guitar and thought I'd maybe keep moving, but I just keep loving this place more and more because of the beautiful people and doing beautiful things like this event. So I'm really happy to be here, and the river was one of the first things that really got my heart. So this is a beautiful re-rendition of a good old traditional song called In the Pines that we're gonna do now. And my dear friend Bruce Stevenson, who's one of the most prolific Canadian songwriters I'm aware of, and one of the best in my opinion, he's written new words to the beautiful old melody that was made well known by all kinds of great folk singers. So we call this one Winter in the Pines, and it's actually on the album we put out a year and a half ago called Something New. And we're gonna do it again for a year. And feel free to sing along with us. You'll probably catch on to the chorus because we'll do it a few times. So. 1, 2, 3. Well, the longest train through the coldest rain rode that BC railway line. And I left behind both my heart and my mind in Vancouver for a shack in the pine. In the pines, where the sun seldom shines, though we shivered when the cold winds blew. In the pines, where the sun seldom shines, the clear light of our love shone through. Met a native maid who was so afraid in the darkest time of the year. And like a lamb in the hands of a kind-hearted man, she surrendered up all of her fear. In the pines, where the sun seldom shines, though we shivered when the cold winds blew. In the pines, where the sun seldom shines, the clear light of our love shone through. And the songs that we heard from those forest birds were sweet music to our ears. And it was foretold in a book of silver and gold, where a wolf laid in peace with a deer. In the pines, where the sun seldom shines, though we shivered when the cold winds blew. In the pines, where the sun seldom shines, the clear light of our love shone through. Here's Brad LaFontaine on the bass. In the pines, where the sun seldom shines, the clear light of our love shone through. And in the sparkle and the glow of that beautiful forest snow, heaven's starlight was shining so clear. And the night winds played in that forest glade, the sweet music of the sphere. In the pines, where the sun seldom shines, though we shivered when the cold winds blew. hides in the pines where the sun seldom shines. The clear light of our love shone through. 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 One, two, three. I woke up shining at the end of a rest, as though I touched a greater plan. I think I was aligning to be with the best part of the heart that I can. I stay good and true with the friends that I made. So grateful for all that we moved through. And even though we know it can't all stay the same, something also seems new. These dreams within dreams are always gonna show holographics, of course. This infinite stream is always gonna flow to and from our greatest source. As we stay good and true with the friends that we make, so grateful for all that we move through. And even though we know it can't all stay the same, something also seems new. Something new. Something new. Something new. Something new. I dreamt I was surfing on the ocean of all. Got to making better and better choices. Among the many changes, I remember that call. Peace, love, and joy are my true voices. And we stay good and the friends that we make. So grateful for all that we move through. And even though we know it can all stay the same, something also seems new. Something new. Something new. Something new. Something new. Yeah, something new. Something new. Something new. Something new. Something new. Something new.
Call Me Mildy is a popular rock group from Regina, Saskatchewan, and they helped us out with some fantastic energy last year. Let's take a look at that performance.
Heading down the highway down to New Orleans. I love them Cajun women like they never seen. And I'm running. I'm running to you, baby, with the loving you need. When I had my fill, I head to Mexico. I love them sweet bonitas and I gotta go. And I'm running, yeah. But I'm running to you, baby, with the loving you need. All right, now you take it. Heading back north, back to Canada. That's the kind of women I can get enough. And I'm running. Well, I'm running to you, baby, with the loving you need. I got a flat tire down Regina way. Two women pick me up and now I gotta stay. 'Cause I'm running, yeah. Well, I'm running to you, baby, with the love you need. All right, man, I got you. Bring it down, fellas. How's everybody doing tonight at Telemiracle 45? We are Call Me Mildy from Regina, and we're thrilled to be here and be part of the Telemiracle 45 this year. Be playing songs off our 2 albums. We're going to try to keep you awake, keep you motivated, and help them out by ringing those phones. Let's take it, boys. Went out for a drink. One went blue and the other one pink. Went up the street to the favorite spot. Music was jumping and the band was hot. 2 o'clock in the morning, that's all. 2 lonely ladies looked up in glee. Couldn't believe what they could see. 2 big studs standing at the bar. One little lady started to crawl. It was 2 o'clock in the morning, that's all. Yeah. Looked up in style. They said, hey fellas, you sit for a while. Well, one big stud said, we can't sit here. I just came out to buy my sugar a beer. 2 o'clock in the morning, that's all. 2 lonely ladies looked up in dismay. I shook their heads and they started to say, well, that's too bad, cause the mold is running. We're in the mood for some easy loving. 2 o'clock in the morning, that's all. Yeah. Started to smile. They hadn't had an offer like that in a while. They said, thank you, man, but we gotta go. I love to stay, but our wives say no. 2 o'clock in the morning, that's all. Big studs went out for a drink. One went blue and the other one pink. Went up the street to the favorite spot. Music was jumping and the band was hot. 2 o'clock in the morning, that's all. Yeah, it was 2 o'clock in the morning, that's all. One, two, three, go! My woman left me for another man. My woman left me. She took all she can. She took my house. She took my car. She took my dog. couldn't miss that dog. My woman left me for another man. Yeah, my woman left me. She took all she can. She took my money. She took my guitar. She took my girlfriend. But they won't get far. My woman, she's gone for good. Won't be back. It's understood she left me. She's my woman and she's no damn good. She's been sleeping with the neighborhood. She left me. My woman left me. She said it all before. Even packed her suitcase, standing at the door. Oh, she took my liquor, and she took my old chair, and she took my heart, like she just don't care. My woman, she's gone for good, won't be back. It's understood she left me. She's my woman and she's no damn good. She's been sleeping with the neighborhood. She left me. This is a song from our first album. It's a song about love and brotherhood, and we're going to send it out to everybody at Telemiracle 45. When you got no one to call to, call my name. When you got no other brother, call my name. When you got no reason to smile, call my name. I'll be there to take your hand. Thank you. I wanna be your lover, wanna be your friend. I wanna love you like no other man can. I wanna be the one that you hold on tight. All I need is your love to make it right. I wanna be beside you and never let you go. I wanna be beside you like lovers do. I wanna be a lover man that you kiss at night. All I need is your love to make it right. I'm gonna treat you real special, bring you roses and wine. If you give me your heart, I'll give you mine. I'm gonna treat you like a lady for the rest of your nights. All I need is your love to make it right. All I need is your love to make it right. I wanna be your love, don't wanna be your friend. I wanna love you like no other man can. I wanna be the one that you hold on tight. All I need is your love to make it right. I wanna be beside you and never let you go. I wanna be beside you like lovers do. I wanna be a lover man that you kiss at night. All I need is your love to make it right. Thank you.
Oh, call me Mildy. You guys are keeping me entertained, and I know everybody at home is going to be saying the same thing. Now, we might have a Telemiracle first here, and I have to take a minute to introduce the band, but I want to start back on the drum riser, if we may. And I realize a couple of you have microphones. You may have to speak for him this year. If you take a really close look, folks, this might be the first time we've ever had a drummer who had to put his leg up because he only had one leg available. Drum roll, please. Yeah. Now, and I have a question for you. Is that your normal kick drum foot?
That is. I tore my Achilles at work, so I'm doing it now.
So he said he tore his Achilles while he was at work, and so he's using his other foot to do a kick drum. For those of you that aren't musicians or aren't drummers in particular, that's kind of like trying to throw a ball with the wrong hand. And he's doing just an excellent job. You get just a great groove. So nicely done, man. I'm really impressed. So can you speak for everybody? Can you go around and just introduce the band very quickly?
Absolutely. So starting with the drummer, since we've acknowledged him already, he's an amazing guy. He just had surgery basically 72 hours ago for his Achilles, playing with his wrong foot, as Chris said. His name is Andy Silger.
Absolutely. That's dedication right there, Andy. Thank you.
Joining us on bass today is our good buddy, Jeff Mayer.
Right on. Thank you, Jeff. It's nice to see you're healthy. Yeah. It's nice to see you're healthy, Jeff.
And on lead guitar, playing all 8 strings with just 5 fingers, is Dale Thomas, the Winnipeg Kid.
Dale, that's an impressive thing. I can't even wrap my head around that. And last but not least, sir, your name.
I guess I'll say I'm Greg Mildenberger, and you can call me Mildy.
Excellent. Well, with that, take it away, boys. I want to hear a little more.
All right. This is a song that we're going to do on our second album. I wrote this song, and usually I write blues rock kind of songs and some reggae. And when I wrote this song, it just kind of spilled out as blues rock meets Irish punk. It's called Meet Me in the Alley.